All right, guys, one of the biggest college rivalries in American college sports history, Duke UNC. Big game coming up this weekend, and who better to ask about it than Bomani Jones? I know he has an opinion about it. Bomani, what's up, man?
Hey, I'm doing all right. How are you, Erin?
I'm good, thank you. So, listen, we could talk about the game and the stats and the intricacies of it on any other network, but the cool thing about SB Nation is that we can talk about really whatever we want. So to that end, let's get into the rivalry aspect of it. You got a private school versus a public school. There's stereotypes on both sides. What do you see down there in North Carolina?
The only thing I always say about this is it's the only in-state rivalry that's an in-state, out-of-state rivalry. That's the best thing about this is North Carolina is the University of North Carolina. That's how they carry it. That's how they see themselves. Duke, well, I mean, they're here, right? And you see fans, and they're certainly around, but to call Duke an in-state school is a bit of a stretch. So it's an insider-outsider thing that you're not going to find anywhere else in an in-state rivalry.
The people in New York generally love to hate Duke. UNC, I think they're a little bit more agnostic about it, but Duke, it's like if you didn't go there, then New Yorkers love to hate on them. I mean, it's pretty serious. So I know we talked about that a little bit in the past. You want to get into it?
Yeah, well, that's funny because you say people in New York seem to hate Duke, and down here the perception is that everybody in New Jersey loves them. I guess this is our southern representation of the fact that New York and New Jersey are not the same place. By and large, most of us don't have time to split your little northern states into groups. But I guess you have outlined right there what the difference is. Because like I told you, I went to the last Duke wedding I went to was about 2 or 3 years ago. And I'm telling you, nothing quite set the party off like living on a prayer. The Jersey residents went all the way through the room. The Duke side of the room, they were quite excited about living on a prayer. So I guess that New York, New Jersey thing spells itself out in this interesting way about a rivalry involving North Carolina schools.
Fair enough. All right, so I got to ask you, you live in the Raleigh-Durham area, so let's say you're in a grocery store and there's a guy online with a Duke shirt and a guy online with a UNC shirt. Who is the cashier nicer to?
That kind of depends on what neighborhood you're in. Generally, though, it's going to be the person that's in the Carolina shirt. Now, what's funny is that I often see guys with like Cameron Crazy shirts in my neighborhood in Durham. And quite honestly, I'm wondering how in the world they wound up getting there. That's kind of the fun of Duke being in Durham also.
Right.
Once you get off Duke, you're at Duke's campus, you step off for about 300, 400 yards, you're officially in Durham. It's not the same.
Right. So there's sort of a like socioeconomic, socio-political angle to this, right? Because, I mean, stereotypically, you think of the Duke fan, it's easy to hate them when you think, well, they're traditionally moneyed, they're waspy, they're privileged kids. UNC is a state school, a great state school, one of the top state schools, but I think that maybe that factors into it. Do you see that?
Yeah. That is a big part of it, and it kind of depends on who you're talking to. Because if you're talking to people that are like from North Carolina, the rivalry is a completely different thing than it is out of the state. I think out of the state, you kind of get to the perceptions that people have about Duke. Here, the interpersonal relationships are a little bit different. But one of the things about Duke that's funny, I think I was there a couple of years ago for something, and I was sitting right outside the student center, and I was explaining to somebody, you could sit on Duke's campus and look around and have no idea that you're in Durham. It's like once you're there, you are now in a totally different world. I mean, it's not like, alien or anything like that, but you're definitely in a different place as soon as you wind up getting on campus over there. And that sort of thing comes through in the rivalry. Like there's similar people. So, I mean, look, North Carolina isn't exactly getting the dregs of society to go over there.
Right.
Plenty of rich kids, they go to UNC. I mean, that's the thing. But they're from different places and they carry it in different ways. Like, I mean, you really have a Civil War sort of dynamic here with the rivalry.
So, closing thoughts, what do you think is going to happen this weekend?
All right, well, I mean, I don't think anybody walked away from the first Duke-Carolina game and thought that Duke was the better team. Mike Krzyzewski didn't even walk away from that and think that Duke was the better team.
Yeah.
The question for me is going to be, how does Carolina respond? Because it's going to be a hostile environment. It's senior night, but it's Miles Plumlee's senior night. Like, I don't think we're going to have that many tears and that, how excited can Miles Plumlee get to the point where he hurts you? I don't know how that part goes.
You never know, man.
But yeah, I say, he might turn superhuman and bionic. I have no idea. I know that Carolina was up 12 with however much time left in the game the last time they played.
Right.
And I think they're going to beat Duke by something around 10 points.
All right, thanks, Bomani. And guys, don't forget, get at us. We want to hear from you. I'm at Erin Sharoni on Twitter. He needs no introduction. He's at Bomani_Jones. Is that correct, Bomani?
That is correct. And subscribe to the YouTube channel before somebody figured out what we're doing over here.
Exactly. Get it while it's hot.